When I asked for help during my operation, my fiancé texted me, LOL, you thought I'd cancel the Miami trip for your surgery? I replied back, my bad. What the nurse informed her when she called the hospital later changed everything. Hey, Reddit, get ready for this. How I'm about to share. My fiancé thought Miami was more important than my surgery, so I let her go on her trip. Things went completely crazy after that. You're going to love it. Names have been altered for obvious reasons, but everything else is 100% factual. Get your food. Let's get started. I'm a 27-year-old man who has been with Fiona for 3 years and is engaged to her for 6 months. We live in my apartment, which I've been paying for since before we met. After 8 months, she moved in and somehow never gave more than money for groceries. Had the whole thing figured out. Next summer, a beach wedding, a honeymoon in Greece, and a white picket fence. But the cosmos answered, nope, you were incorrect. That tumor was a blessing in disguise. One morning, I was completing a usual checkup. You know what to do. I thought I'd receive a lecture about my diet and be gone in 20 minutes. Dr. Williams is instead digging about my side with that look. This is going to ruin your whole month. Look, he says we need to do further tests. In doctor speak, that means, congratulations, something's trying to kill you. A week later, we had CT scans, blood tests, and sat in waiting rooms that smelled like hopelessness with hand sanitizer. I understand the decision. Benign tumor on my kidney, but it's in a place that makes it look like it has a personal problem with me. It's wrapped around some important underscore. That means they have to cut me open and get it out the right way. There is no other choice but surgery. Dr. Williams says, you'll be in the hospital for at least 2 to 3 days. It will take about 4 weeks to heal, and you'll need someone with you all the time for at least the first week. You can't drive, lift anything, or be alone. That's fair. I contacted my fiancé from the parking lot of the hospital. Tell her about the cancer. The procedure is set for April 15th. How I need someone to help me get better. I can hear her typing all the time. Most likely business emails or Instagram posts. It's hard to say which one is more essential to her. This person is the queen of multitasking. When I finish explaining, there's this long pause before she drops the bomb. April 15th? That week is for Miami. She really wants to know whether I can move the procedure to after her trip. It feels like I'm changing a dentist appointment instead of getting rid of a tumor. Sure, I'll just call Dr. Williams and ask if the tumor can wait 2 weeks for your tan. Says that the whole thing is normal and that the time is perfect for ruining her vacation. I try to explain that surgeons have waiting lists and that this was the earliest opening. I really need her help. She sighs like I'm asking her to give me a kidney. Okay, I'll just ask the gals. They are counting on me. I can't believe this is really happening. After that, she hangs up. I sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes thinking about how my fiancé put Miami Beach ahead of my life. Fiona gets home around 9 p.m. that night. She doesn't even glance at me. She just drops her purse and starts making herself a drink. As if she's had the worst day in history. I chat to the girls and she starts talking. I already know I'm going to hear some great underscore. They think it's incredibly manipulative that you're trying to get me to cancel. Deceptive. Let that sit for a moment. Fiona, I have a tumor. You've known about it for months, but now, right before my trip, which you knew was essential to me, it's suddenly urgent. The doctor really did just say that. Doctors usually make things sound important. That's how they explain their prices. Sarah's father is a doctor. She knows how this works. Sarah, her vapid friend, whose entire personality is having rich parents and posting gym selfies with captions like, blessed. That Sarah is now my medical consultant. Apparently, Fiona, this is surgery, not a checkup. It's outpatient, though, right? Number 2 to 3 days in the hospital, then weeks of recovery. She takes a long sip of her drink, studying me like I'm some complicated math problem. Look, I get that you're scared, but I can't just drop everything because you're having a medical procedure. I have a life too, Zach. What about our vows in sickness and health? We haven't taken those vows yet. And honestly, this whole guilt trip is making me question if we're ready for marriage. There it is. question the engagement because I had the audacity to get a tumor. I need someone here to take care of me. You know, my family isn't an option since I don't talk to them. Then hire someone. There are services for this. Professional nurses who actually know what they're doing. Are you serious? You want me to hire a stranger because you can't miss a trip? We're supposed to be partners. Zach, I need you to stop being so damn selfish and support the fact that I have my own life and my own plans that don't revolve around him. She storms off to the bedroom. I sleep on the couch, which was more comfortable than lying next to that ice queen. Anyway, next morning, she's already dressed and grabbing her keys. I'm going to Miami, she announces. The girls need me. The trip is paid for, and I'm not letting your medical drama ruin something I've been planning for months. That's what 3 years together gets you. Medical drama. Okay, I say quietly. Okay, that's it. What do you want me to say exactly? I want you to understand that I can't put my entire life on hold every time something got it. Have fun in Miami. I interrupted. She pauses at the door, probably expecting me to beg or gravel or promise to reschedule surgery around her party schedule. Don't make me the villain here, Zach. I'm being practical. Sure you are. No worries. 2 weeks later, I texted her one final time. Call it a last test of whatever humanity she had left. I'm really worried about this. I need you there with me. 3 hours later. LOL. Seriously? You actually thought I'd cancel Miami for your surgery? It's not even cancer. Stop being such a baby about it. I screenshot that message. My mistake. I texted back and it was my mistake. Thinking she was worth marrying. After Fiona's charming stop being such a baby text, I realized I needed to get my together fast. Surgery in 5 days, no support system, and apparently I'm on my own. First stop, work. Had to explain to my boss that I'd need time off for surgery and recovery. Mark's a good guy. Been through his own medical stuff, so he gets it immediately. He sets me up with HR to get my medical leave paperwork sorted. The HR lady, Janet, has this motherly energy and immediately goes into protective mode when she hears the situation. You'll need someone to drive you home from the hospital and someone to check on you for at least 48 hours. Family nearby? Not really. It's complicated. She writes down her personal number. Okay, if you get stuck, call me. This isn't something you handle alone. Now, I know some of you must be wondering why I haven't called my family. We don't have a relationship. I cut them off long ago, but that's another story. So, anyways, that night I started researching what recovery actually looks like. Forums, medical sites, first-hand accounts. Turns out I really will need 24/7 help for at least a week. Can't lift anything over 10 pounds. Can't drive while on pain meds. Need help getting in and out of bed for the first few days. Fiona was posting Instagram stories about Miami outfits while I'm researching post-surgical care instructions. The contrast was so stark it was almost funny. That's when I called Liam, best friend since college. The kind of guy who'd help you bury a body at 3 a.m. without asking questions. Bro, did you just tell me your fiancé is going to Miami while you have surgery? That's the situation. Yeah. What the hell is wrong with her? Is she mentally deficient? Did she hit her head as a child? Multiple times. Apparently, I'm being manipulative and dramatic. You have a tumor, US? Holy, undersir. That's not dramatic. Wait, I'm driving up there. Liam, you don't need to shut your mouth. I'm taking time off work. Someone should give a damn if you die on that table. It's outpatient. I said shut your mouth. I'm coming. This is why Liam's my boy. He drives up from Baltimore the day before surgery. Shows up with a duffel bag, groceries, and a bottle of the good stuff for after you're off the pain meds. So where's Princess Miami? Flight leaves at 6 a.m. She'll probably be wheels up before I'm even in pre-op. And she's really okay with this? Yeah, she's fine with everything. Liam shakes his head. 3 years, man. She's supposed to you know what? Undersir. Let's focus on you now. We spent the evening watching movies and ordering pizza. Just 2 friends hanging out before a medical procedure. The simplicity of having someone who actually gives a underscore hits me hard. This is what support looks like. Around 10 p.m. Fiona texts. Hope everything goes well tomorrow. Try not to be mad at me forever. Want me to respond? Liam asks. Nah, let her. Morning of April 15th. Fiona leaves at 5 a.m., gives me the weakest hug in history and says, try not to die or whatever. I'll bring you something back from Miami. Don't die or anything. That's the woman I was going to spend the rest of my life with. An hour later, Liam shows up with a duffel bag and a big grin on his face. Are you ready to kick this malignancy out? Landlord? Yes, sir. When we get to the hospital, the prep nurse's name badge says Pamela. She looks to be in her late 50s and has the intensity of someone who has seen every kind of family turmoil. Fiona is still the emergency contact. No, I changed it to Liam Crawford here. Pamela writes something down. It's nice to have help. Your fiancé wasn't able to come. Liam snorts. She is in Miami drinking. Priorities. Pamela's pen stopped writing. What? Miami? During your operation? Yes. And you're still going to marry this person? I don't think so. Pamela smiles. You are in really good hands here. We'll look after you extremely well. The surgery goes off without a hitch. Wake up tired, but without a tumor. Liam is sitting next to me and looking through Fiona's Instagram stories. Hey Zach, good morning. Dude, I don't have a tumor. No, you'll be okay. He hit me on the shoulder. A few minutes later, he proceeds to show me what Miss Miami has been saying. She posted about 15 times. Check out these Miami vibes with my girls and a lot of bikini pics. 2 hours ago, the __ even posted a group shot captioned, some things are more important than drama. DRAMA. Like you planned this whole tumor in your ass just to in my liver. Actually, whatever, bro, __ her. Around 6 p.m., my phone starts buzzing like crazy. Text after text. It was from her. Why aren't you answering? I know you're mad, but don't be childish. The least you could do is let me know you're alive. This silent treatment is really immature. Liam reads them, doing this perfect Valley Girl impression. Want me to respond? She's not going to like what I'm about to say. Nah, let her sweat. Oh, this is going to be fun. That's when the real show started. 8 p.m. The phone at the nurse's station rings. Pamela comes back 10 minutes later grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Your soon-to-be ex-fiancé is calling. She wants to speak with you immediately. Tell her I'm sleeping. Are you sleeping? Like a baby. Pamela's grin gets wider. Understood. She leaves and comes back 15 minutes later. She called 4 more times. Apparently, you're playing games and she has a right to know what's happening. Tell her whatever you think is medically appropriate. Oh sure, I will. Here's where Pamela earned her place in the Hall of Fame. Liam was eavesdropping and apparently Pamela told Fiona I was unconscious and unresponsive following surgical complications, and that only emergency contacts or immediate family members could receive detailed medical information per hospital protocol. Technically accurate, I was napping unconscious, not talking, unresponsive. Surgery is always complicated and Liam was my emergency contact immediate family by choice. The text went absolutely nuclear. What complications? Why are you unconscious? Why is Liam there instead of me? I'm your fiancé. Pamela said only emergency contacts WTF. Does that mean are you dying? I'm booking a flight right now. Liam reading these out loud with a hilarious voice. Oh, this one's good. If you die, I will never forgive you. What the hell does that even mean? Screenshotted. This is going to be fun. But the best part, she posted on Instagram, please pray for my fiancé. In an emergency. Maybe I should come home early. The responses came right away. OMG, what happened? Hold on, weren't you just uploading pictures of yourself in a bikini? Is everything all right? Then Jessica, her buddy, and Jessica's genuine friend all reply, didn't you say yesterday that he was being dramatic about routine surgery? She deleted Jessica's comment within minutes. But the internet is forever. Liam got a screenshot. Your fiancé is about to learn a valuable lesson about social media. He says, talk. Pamela comes back around 10 p.m. with my evening meds and a clipboard full of notes. Your fiancé called 6 more times. I've documented each conversation for medical records. What's she saying now? She demanded to speak with the surgeon, the hospital administrator, and threatened to call the state medical board about patient privacy violations. Because we won't give her detailed medical information about someone who's not her husband and explicitly removed her as emergency contact. Liam laughs. She's really doubling down on the crazy. Then she was crying about how this was all a misunderstanding and she just wanted to know you were okay. She was screaming about manipulation and conspiracy theories. She's hitting all the classics. I say, the overnight charge nurse is excited to take over. Apparently, word spread and everyone wants to see how this plays out. I turned off my phone and got the best sleep I'd had in weeks. The next morning, I woke up to 89 texts and 43 missed calls. Liam's been documenting everything. She FaceTimed me at 2 a.m. from some club bathroom, completely hammered, crying about how she made a mistake and needs to know you're okay. I told her you were in intensive care. Am I in intensive care? You're intensively eating Jell-O and watching Rick and Morty. Close enough. Pamela comes in for rounds, carrying what looks like a scorecard. Your fiancé called 18 times last night. 18. The night shift made it a competition. Every call earned points based on how dramatic she got. What's the high score? Call number 14. She threatened to call the governor if we didn't give her information in Florida about a Pennsylvania hospital. Panic makes people stupid, Pamela says. Speaking of which, she's apparently calling every hospital in the city trying to find you. She can do that. She can try, but you're registered as private, and unless she has your exact room number and patient code, we won't even confirm you exist. The morning nurse, Kevin, stops by around 11 a.m. with more intel. Got a call from Presbyterian Hospital downtown. They said some woman called asking if they had a Zach recovering from kidney surgery. When they said no, she asked them to check again because if someone was lying to her. She's calling random hospitals. Gets better. She called Children's Hospital asking if they treat adults. When they said no, she asked if they were covering up for other hospitals because that's how conspiracies work. Liam's dying laughing. Dude, she's lost her damn mind. St. Mary's, Jefferson, Temple University Hospital. She's working through the phone book. They're all calling us because she keeps mentioning our hospital name and demanding they tell her the truth. This is insane. This is entertainment. Pamela corrects. We don't get drama this good very often. By afternoon, Fiona's social media had gone full meltdown mode. Posted on Facebook, emergency. Going home right away. Zach is in serious trouble because of problems that came up during surgery. Please keep us in your prayers. My friend Marcus texted me, Dude, Fiona's post says you're dying. Are you going to die? I text back. Texting from heaven right now. They got pudding. Thank God. He replied, Bro LMAO. She said, critical condition. Critically bored, maybe. Let her dig this hole. Marcus sends back, already screenshotted everything. This is going to be a meme. That afternoon, I got a surprise visitor. Natalie Smith knocks on my door around 3:00 p.m. carrying a container that smells like heaven. Now, some background on Natalie. She's my neighbor. Lives 2 doors down. Professional baker, runs this little specialty cake business from home. Also happens to be gorgeous. Like dangerously gorgeous. We've always been friendly. But she's never crossed any lines out of respect for my relationship. Always just been the sweet neighbor who sometimes brings over extra cookies. Hey, she says, looking genuinely concerned. Liam told me about your surgery when he was getting your mail. Brought you some homemade chicken soup. Liam told you? Wait, you made me soup? Yes. And some of those oatmeal cookies you always compliment. Figured hospital food probably sucks. Liam appears behind me, grinning. Natalie, perfect timing. Our patient here was just complaining about the culinary experience. I was not complaining. He totally was. Come in. Come in. Tell me, how long have you been waiting for Fiona to serve this badly? And don't say you haven't. We all saw this train wreck coming. Liam. Natalie laughs. I plead the fifth. But seriously, I'm glad you're okay, Zach. Surgery is scary stuff. She stays for like 20 minutes and it's the first normal conversation I've had in days. Genuine concern from someone who gives a __ whether I live or die. Where's Fiona though? She asks innocently. Miami, I say. During your surgery. Yep. Natalie blinks slowly. I'm sorry. What? It's a vacation. I don't even have words for that. None of us do. Liam adds, hence why I drove up from Baltimore to babysit this idiot. I glared at him, but Natalie replied, that's really sweet of you, Liam. Someone had to give a underscore. Clearly wasn't going to be Fiona. After she leaves, Liam's looking at me with this knowing grin. What? Nothing. Just interesting timing, that's all. It's soup. Underscore. It's homemade soup from the hot baker who's been waiting 3 years for you to notice she exists. Shut up. She's being neighborly. She's being strategic, and I respect the hell out of it. Oh, and I enjoy seeing you worked up like that. That's why I filled her in anyway. Underscore. You're welcome. Discharge day comes and I'm packing when Fiona finally tracks me down. She bursts through the door looking like she's been through a war. Hair's a mess. Makeup smeared. Still wearing a wrinkled Miami outfit. The dramatic entrance would have been more effective if she hadn't spent the last 48 hours calling every hospital in the tri-state area like some discount Nancy Drew. Oh, thank God you're alive. Why didn't anyone tell me you were okay? Because you were in Miami. I came back early. I was worried sick. I thought you were dying. The nurse said you were unresponsive. I was napping. She stops napping and eating Jell-O sometimes. What the hell? But she said complications. Yeah, it's pretty complicated. The reality starts hitting her. She built this entire crisis narrative in her head based on perfectly normal post-surgical recovery filtered through her own guilt and panic. You let me think you were dying. Are you freaking kidding me? I let you assume the worst because you weren't here to know any better. That's manipulation. No, you don't get to control the narrative from 12,200 miles away while sipping mojitos. She sinks into the chair, suddenly looking smaller. The Miami tan looks ridiculous against her tear-streaked face like she's some kind of emotional tourist who wandered into the wrong tragedy. I gave up 2 days of my vacation. I was worried about you. Were you worried about me or worried about how it looked that you weren't here? Direct hit. She can't answer that because we both know the truth. I cut my trip short after you posted bikini pics while I was unconscious on an operating table. That's not fair. I pull the engagement ring out of my pocket and set it on the bedside table. The wedding's off. Complete meltdown mode. Crying, pleading, 3 years together. How can I throw it all away over a misunderstanding? This is insane. That's when I dropped the second bomb. Also, you have 2 weeks to find somewhere else to live. What the hell do you mean somewhere else? You can't kick me out. I have rights. Check the paperwork. Your name's nowhere on it. Funny how that works. I'll call a lawyer. Good luck with that. Pamela appears in the doorway with discharge papers and immediately clocks the situation. Everything all right in here? Just fine, I say. Pamela, meet Fiona. Fiona, meet Pamela. The nurse who's been taking your calls and documenting your meltdowns for posterity. Pamela's smile could cut glass. Oh, the fiancé. How was Miami? Must have been quite the vacation to miss all this excitement. Fiona's standing there like a fish gasping for air. I'm taking him home, she announces. Actually, I'm all set. I gesture to Liam. My ride's been here the whole time. Liam, we came here together. Yeah, sure. This is ridiculous. I'm your fiancé. Ex-fiancé? Correct. She storms out screaming about lawyers and rights. 20 minutes later, she's posting on Facebook about how some people can't handle strong women who have their own lives. The comments destroy her immediately. Jessica, wait, didn't you go to Miami during his surgery? Marcus, strong and independent equals abandoning your fiancé during medical procedures. Her cousin Lisa, girl, what are you even talking about? We saw your vacation pics. She starts deleting comments, but it's too late. The internet remembers everything. The first week home, things were almost peaceful. I'm healing, taking my pain meds, sleeping a lot. Natalie keeps showing up with food. Chicken noodle soup the first day, homemade bread the second, some kind of pasta casserole that made me question every meal Fiona ever made. We start having longer conversations while Liam hovers like a protective older brother, making sarcastic comments about my improved meal service. The woman is incredible, smart, funny, actually asks how I'm feeling instead of treating my recovery like an inconvenience. We're keeping it completely appropriate, but there's definitely something there, something real. Fiona notices immediately, starts interrogating me every time Natalie leaves. Since when are you too close? What do you mean? Why the hell is she coming here? It's none of your business, Fiona, you're leaving soon. TF. Do you mean none of my business? I'm your fiancé, ex-fiancé. And just like that, she would have a meltdown every time Natalie visited. Meanwhile, her work situation starts cracking around the same time. Word spreads fast in professional circles, especially when someone has a very public social media meltdown. Coworkers start looking at her differently. The marketing industry is small and everyone knows everyone. I found out later that her boss called a meeting after clients started asking about the employee who abandoned her fiancé during surgery. Professional reputation matters when you're handling other people's image problems. Day 10 arrives and she's acting like nothing happened. Bringing me coffee in bed, trying to cuddle while I'm watching TV playing the devoted fiancé she never was when it actually mattered. I know you're still mad about Miami, but we can work through this. There's nothing to work through. When will you get that we're done? Am I speaking Italian here? I made a mistake. People make mistakes. Cut it off. You're supposed to be packing. That's not fair. What's not fair is me wasting time on someone like you. Meanwhile, she's posting on social media about fighting for love and not giving up on what matters. The comments are universally brutal. Maybe fight for love before going to Miami during surgery. Too little, too late, Fiona. This is embarrassing. OMG, delete the post. Her friend group starts distancing themselves. The same girls who encouraged the Miami trip are suddenly unavailable when she needs places to crash. Ashley stops responding to texts. Sarah's making excuses about having family in town. The Fairweather friend network collapses when drama gets real. Day 12. I find her going through my phone while I'm in the shower. Who the __ is Kevin? Why the hell are you touching my phone? Why is he texting you? Give me this __ I snatched it from her. Is he making fun of me? Fiona, enough. Don't make me throw you out of the window with all your stuff. Silence. Then why does Pamela have your number? Get out of my sight. She stomped out loudly and slammed the door. She was spiraling and I was losing my patience. Then came day 15. I'm getting ready to call my lawyer when there's a knock on the door. Fiona's parents, Maria and Frank, standing in my hallway looking like they're attending a funeral. We need to talk, Frank says. We sit down and Maria immediately starts crying. We're so sorry, Zach. What she did. We raised her better than that. We didn't know the real story until Jessica told us. Frank adds, Fiona said you had manipulated the hospital situation to make her look bad. I was out cold, Frank. It's hard to move anything when you're under anesthesia. We know that now. We saw the Instagram posts, the timeline. Maria wipes her eyes. She was posting vacation pictures while you were in surgery. She embarrassed herself and embarrassed the family. 27 years of raising her, and this is what we get, Frank says. We failed somewhere along the line. We're really sorry, son. And I'm glad the surgery went well. They offered to help get her out to talk sense into her. But I can see they're done, too. 27 years of enabling their daughter's selfishness, and they finally hit their limit. She's not welcome at home until she gets help, Maria says quietly. Real help, therapy, consequences, accountability. We told her we weren't going to support this behavior anymore, Frank adds. She threatened to cut us off. Her exact words were, Fine. I don't need parents who don't support me, Maria says. The next day, Fiona's screaming at them in my hallway, full meltdown, accusing them of taking my side, threatening to never speak to them again. I record it through my peephole for evidence. The sound quality is terrible, but you can clearly hear her calling her parents traitors and manipulated idiots for not supporting her truth. Her own parents who've bankrolled her lifestyle for years, getting screamed at in a public hallway because they won't enable her delusions. Her friend Ashley comes to pick her up. Ashley's got that I'm only doing this because I have to energy. Loads Fiona's stuff into her car while Fiona sobs dramatically about being abandoned by everyone. You'll regret this, she tells me as Ashley drags her toward the stairs. You can't destroy someone's life and get away with it. Ashley gives me this apologetic look as they leave. We both know this is temporary. Within hours of leaving, Fiona's on every social media platform posting her side of the story. Long rambling posts about manipulation and fake medical emergencies and how she's the real victim. The problem is she's still friends with people from my work, my gym, my family, people who know the truth, people who saw her Miami post in real time. Everyone in the comments was calling out her, and roasting her. She started deleting posts, but the internet is forever. People are sharing her Miami vacation pics side by side with her emergency rush home posts. The hypocrisy was so clear a blind person could see it. The professional consequences accelerate. Her company's HR department starts getting calls from clients who recognize her. Her job is all about image management, and her image is radioactive. My coworker Janet shared one of Fiona's rants in the office group chat with the caption, "This is why you don't air your dirty laundry on social media." Everyone in the office saw it. Mark, my employer, merely shakes his head and texts me, "You dodged a bullet, man. You really dodged a whole firing squad." Ashley kicked her out 2 weeks later. It seems that Fiona was screaming fits about the rent money, making a mess everywhere, and bringing guys home at odd hours. Ashley talks about it on her Instagram stories. Not much, only that some people never learn where the line is with a house key emoji. Not too obvious, but still clear. She moved in with her friend Sarah. That lasted precisely 12 days, until Sarah posted about getting rid of bad energy and cleaning the house. Someone kicked her again. She's moving from one friend's couch to another, and she's burning bridges wherever she goes. Her work performance drops since she's spending work hours writing rants against me instead of doing her job. Management pays attention. People see. Liam is keeping an eye on things through people he knows. It looks like Fiona is turning into the friend that everyone avoids. The person who turns everything into a drama. The person who can't talk without bringing up her story of being a victim. When she releases a 40-minute video on Instagram describing the real story, that's the last straw. She cried and held up printed screenshots, saying I tricked her into going to Miami so I could set her up to fail. It was hard to see the video. She has definitely been drinking. She's talking about conspiracy theories and showing up her phone screen to show text conversations that back up what I'm saying. It's like seeing someone use a selfie stick to dig their own tomb. Her own family members stop following her. Even Sarah's dad, the surgeon who is supposed to know about medical manipulation, says, "Young lady, I've been a surgeon for 30 years. No one pretends to have kidney tumors to get attention." She took the video down within hours, but not before a lot of people had downloaded it. It's clear that Liam has a copy. That's when the big effects start to happen. Life is excellent now that I've been recovering for 2 months. Natalie and I are officially dating now. We're still taking it slow, but she's amazing. She gives me dinner 3 times a week, helps me with my physical therapy exercises, and never makes my recovery about her. It's like night and day compared to the 3 years I spent walking on eggshells around Fiona. Liam is still sleeping in my guest room. This is partly to help him heal, but largely because he likes being so close to Fiona's breakdown. He tells me what's going on every day, like it's his job. That's why Sarah kicked her. Where is Fiona residing now? Route 22 has a Motel 6. Things grow worse at work for her. She's working at some marketing firm downtown, and word travels fast in those circles. People knew who she was. She gets in trouble for using her personal social media too much at work. It looks like she's uploading Instagram stories from the restroom at work while still crying about being used and left behind. Her boss really does get in touch with me over LinkedIn. "Hey dude, I'm sorry to hear about your problems with Fiona. Since the Miami thing, she's been having a hard time at work. I wanted you to know that it's also harming her work life." Then the really bizarre __ starts. The first thing I saw was her automobile parked across the street from my building. Different times, yet always sitting there. Like a cheap private detective, she's keeping an eye on my residence. She comes around 7 p.m. on weekdays, probably after work, and stays there for hours. I sometimes see her smoking in the car. Sometimes she just stares at my windows like she's waiting for something to happen. It's both sad and creepy at the same time. Then the notes start to show up on my automobile. Weird, random __ scrawled on napkins and receipts. I know what you're doing with that neighbor. You can't hide the truth forever. You ruined everything we had for lies. It really feels like a serial killer. Liam finds one and takes pictures right away to prove it. He replies, she's officially lost it. As he reads one that looks like a ransom note scrawled in different colored pens. This is a restraining order situation, but it gets worse. Natalie starts getting messages first on Instagram, then on Facebook, and then on her work email. Fiona found Natalie's bakery website and started giving 1-star reviews that said Natalie seduces sick men and breaks up happy relationships. The reviews are crazy. Housebreaker. This woman goes for males who are vulnerable after surgery. Behavior that is predatory. No stars. This baker ruined my relationship by giving my fiancé soup. Who does that? Yeah, who gives ill folk soup? What type of monster would do that? Next, she might volunteer to wash the laundry or something else evil. The phony reviews begin to hurt Natalie's business. People who might want to work with them see them and ask questions. She needs to tell her regular customers what's going on. Natalie shows me the messages, and they go from passive-aggressive to straight-up threatening. Don't touch what's mine. You don't know who you're fooling with. People who break apart homes receive what they deserve. Natalie says she's starting to get afraid. Don't be afraid. We're keeping track of everything. Then the threats begin. Natalie's business Instagram got real threats. Screenshots of our apartment building with captions like, I know where you sleep. The messages get crazier and crazier. She says she will make Natalie go away, and vows that people who break up homes always get what they deserve. That's all. I say we should stop playing games. I asked for a restraining order. The proof is very plain. Pictures of her automobile following me to my building. Screenshots of the threatening texts and copies of the crazy notes that were put on my car. The judge looks at it once and gives it right away. She had to stay at least 500 feet away from me. My apartment, my job, and Natalie. Short-term alleviation. The stalking ends for approximately a week. No more notes, texts, or cars for Natalie. I start to suspect that she could have understood. The big finish is next. And let me tell you, you're going to enjoy this. It's around 10 p.m. Natalie and I are on the couch watching Netflix, and Liam is in the kitchen making grilled cheese. First normal night in a long time. Then we hear car doors slamming, footsteps on stairs, and someone banging on my door like the building is on fire. I know you're in there, Zach. Fiona's speech was slurred and full of fear. Open this damn door. I stare through the hole in the door. She's swaying back and forth, carrying a champagne bottle, and wearing pajama pants and a tank top like she just woke up. She's totally out of control. You messed up my life. Face me out here. Natalie starts recording right away, and Liam contacts 911. I keep looking through the peephole and writing down everything. I gave you everything of it. 3 years of my existence. She kicks the door, which leaves real scuff marks on the wood. That __ neighbor made you hate me. I get what's going on. It's a plot. She then sees the peephole and walks right up to it, her face looking weird in the lens. The view was really funny. She looked as scary as a goldfish. I know you're looking. Come out here like a guy. The doors of the neighbors start to open. Mrs. Patterson from 3B looks out. Mr. Johnson from 3A walks into the hallway. Fiona is too inebriated to notice or care that everyone is watching. Liam hangs up with 911 and smiles at me. Want to have some fun before the police show up? What do you mean? He goes into the kitchen and comes out with a box of flour. Believe me, we wait for her to start kicking again. Liam then opens the door just enough to spill the whole container over her head. She screams like a banshee, her face plastered with white powder, and she claws at it and falls back. It looks like a crazy ghost who got fired from a haunted house for being too dramatic. You __ crazy people. I'll show you all. This is an attack. Flour. It's flour. You crazy person. Liam calls from the other side of the door. Self-defense against someone breaking into your home. You also look like a really mad snowman. Natalie and I were laughing so hard we could not breathe. The police show up just as she's yelling threats and trying to get the flour out of her eyes. They see her covered in white powder from head to toe and plainly drunk outside an apartment she is not allowed to get near. The main officer looks at the scene. Fiona looked like a flower-covered nightmare. Me calmly giving them paper copies of the restraining order and screenshots of the threats. Natalie's video proof of the door kicking makes him shake his head. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for breaking a restraining order, being drunk in public, and harassing someone." "They assaulted me," she yelled. The officer coughed. I can tell. Let's go." They put handcuffs on her as she was still spitting flowers and yelling about manipulation and conspiracy theories. The neighbors are all watching from their doors, which is the best show this building has seen in years. Mrs. Patterson from 3B was really clapping and chewing something. That was better than watching Netflix. As they walk her to the patrol car, she turns around and screams, "Karma will get to you, Zach. This isn't over." Liam leaned against the door frame, still holding the empty flower container, and called back, "We'll be waiting, sweetheart." The last picture I have of my ex-fiancée is of her being handcuffed and stuffed into a police car while screaming about being a victim. Should have been the cover shot for a lesson on how not to deal with a breakup. The arrest was in the news in the area. Woman breaks a restraining order and gets covered in flowers after a fight at home. Her boss witnessed it. Her other buddies saw it. Her family saw it. She lost her job in less than 2 days. Her reputation as a professional, which was already on the line, completely falls apart. 6 months later, she is living with family in a different state who don't really like her. Working in retail since no marketing firm will hire her after the online disaster, and she still posts about the unfairness she faced from time to time. In the meantime, I've fully recovered. Natalie and I are going to live together. Liam has enough blackmail material to last him for decades. And every morning I thank Toomer for showing me who Fiona truly was before I committed the biggest mistake of my life. It turns out that the greatest way to get back at someone is to get them coated in flour and then drag them away in handcuffs. Good game.